so did a little data logging on the way here. Nothing looks great. The air-fuel ratio is still too lean, really. And we're here today with a bunch of diesel guys, so I'll be a hoot. So I pull in here, and two people ask me if I'm spectating or racing, and they look at the car. There's no hood on. There's not a hood on the car, and they say, "Oh, you're drag racing." Yeah, no kidding. We just melted down about 4 plugs in this truck, so now we took them all out of my car. I'm already out. I went out first round. We put them in this truck, set of NGKs, about half the gap in them, and he's getting ready to go up and make a pass. I just want to see her 7.9. Oh no! Killing me. Killing me.
Dude, it looked good, I thought.
Oh my gosh. Alright, everybody. I'm on my way home. Bill Gates did not blow up. We didn't accomplish what we went there for. We wanted the orange truck to run 7. It's 7.9, obviously. I wanted this car to run us in the 7s, low 7s even maybe, but didn't happen. Alex's truck, the timing was, it had too much timing. We were running a 200 shot nitrous on a 4.8 and burn up a couple plugs. Now I've got one laying here next to me, and the electrode is gone. So he made it past the first round. I did not. And we stole the plugs out of this car because they were NGKs and they were gapped correctly, and put them in his truck. He went up and did a red light and lost. So all that was for nothing. So I went to a parts store and bought plugs for this car. And obviously now we're on our way home. I'm not sure what the next step here is. I think a cam and valve springs, obviously, and probably an intercooler. But man, this car, I just kept messing with it and kept messing with it, and it got faster and faster. Unfortunately, just did not have enough passes. Maybe could have squeaked in a 7.9 in here, maybe, or 7.8 before the end of the night, but it just didn't happen. So, I don't know. I mean, this thing, it's cruising better. I've got kind of a real super choppy tune in this thing. It's kind of back and forth on air fuel. My table looks like the Appalachian Mountains, but I kept having to add fuel because I also ran a 150 dry shot on this thing with methanol and 15 pounds of boost, and I only ran, the best was an 827. No 7s, so I'm on suicide watch. So you tell me, is an 827 a respectable time for a car that couldn't run faster than 5,500 RPM and had a factory 3/4 ton truck stall converter in it, which was like 1,000? I don't know. Part of me says that's not bad, but I really feel like I could have done better. Maybe a couple more passes maybe have been all I needed. So this is the best the car's run all year. I tried shifting it at 6, but it was just to the point where it was kind of falling on its face, and which is way better than it was. And also the popping out of the intake and stuff, that kind of went away also. I'm not sure if it was in the tune or not, but it's definitely better. I want to say it's in the tune, and probably the tuner probably needs to start paying somebody to look at his junk. I don't know. See what you think. But factory cam, 15 pounds of boost. Should have tried 20. I was so close to, I mean, one more pass I would have tried 20. Just didn't make it. Never know until next year, I guess. So I'll keep you updated if I make any changes to the car. So I thought I'd show these time slips real fast before I move on to the next project here. But let's see, this is Alex's fastest pass in the right lane. He ran an 818 at 80 mile an hour. Dang, I didn't realize he had so much mile an hour. Yeah, and then we started doing this and realized, oh, we probably ought to back off the timing. I mean, just maybe a degree or two or three. All right, and then my fastest time of the day, with the horrible reaction time, the awful 60 foot, 85 mile an hour. Obviously, besides for the cam and valve springs being a problem, I need a converter bad because I can't get this thing to go. Turbo setup it runs better than the twin turbo setup. I think a lot of it was just in the tune, but it doesn't matter. This single turbo is just plenty for this engine. It's just a 5.3, and I mean bone stock factory 5.3. Over 250,000 miles on this engine. Tried to run it up to $6,000. It wasn't having it, so I had to back it back down to 5,500, which really wasn't that bad a deal because before, earlier in the year, I couldn't get to run harder than 4,500. So made progress there, if you want to call that progress. Let me show you. This is sad, really. Yeah, left lane, 827, 85 mile an hour. Get out here, bud. All right. Anyways, let me show you something else here. Now I keep all my trash on the floor. But I also keep my fastest time slip on my toolbox at all times, so I know what I'm shooting for here. Now this was back in May of 2008, so 10 years ago, in a 96 Trans Am with an LT1, I ran a 733 at 96 mile an hour. So like I said, that was back years ago before I could even spell LS1, or anything, you know, any of that new stuff. I was just really far behind, but I was making it work. I was driving to the track, running sevens, driving home. And that was on a factory 10-bolt rear end, if you can believe that. With the stock 342 gears, I never put a rear end in those cars, and I'd launched them at $6,000. So that's what we got going on here. We will move on, and obviously the list of parts that I need to buy or want to buy keeps growing. Nova. And we'll see what we can do. I think the first thing I'm going to put in it is a cam and valve springs, and because it obviously needs that. It needs more RPM. The other hot ticket would be a converter. I'm on the fence about even buying a converter for this 4L80, but the 4L80 works pretty good for cruising. Other than that, the drag strip, well, it works fine, but I had kind of a weird deal with it, and I've never seen a transmission do this before. It just popped out of gear, like somebody just threw the thing in neutral. It just popped, and I never did figure out what caused it, and never did give me another problem the rest of the day. The shift RPM was exactly where I had set it at on the, as far as looking at a data log. So I'm gonna leave the converter for last, and yeah, I don't know what else to say about that. That's the best that I could do this year. Now, I did hear about some sort of a short dirt drag race that might be coming up at the end of October. I don't have any for sure word on that, so I'm not going to say where or when or who all may show up. I don't really know any of that, so I'm going to keep the car together for that. And which I've got valve springs in a box, which I need to run them over to have them tested. But oh, stepped on the cat. Get out of here, Nova. Yeah, anyways, moving on.